All right, a very good afternoon to you and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Afternoon Ghana. Today is Friday, 25th of April, 2025, and we have quite a number of issues that we're going to be talking about. We'll take you to officials as we're talking about drug and its arrests that officials are actually involved or engaged in. We'll be giving you the details of latest arrest of drug trafficking that has been done by government. We'll bring you all the details here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Also, we'll be speaking to the Ghana Bar Association. Of course, the illegal issues are still hanging around our necks. The issue that has to do with the CJ petition to remove her from office. We are still at the point of where she's on suspension, and all the associations and institutions are giving their views about what they think Ghana should be doing. Ghana Bar Association is the latest institution that has given its opinion about what they think of the decision of the government in the legal procedures that are currently unfolding. We also have a group that is decided to embark on a demonstration. They've served us some releases as political parties that have come together. When we get to the point, we'll give you the details of these political parties that are also doing or partaking in making sure that this decision, everybody will have a say on it. Well, for now, Nana Kwesi Kwetia is standing by to bring us the news updates. Kwesi, you're welcome. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon and good afternoon, Annie.
Right.
All right, so we're quickly going to go through the headlines. And Chairman of Parliamentary Select Committee on Sanitation forces reject calls to renew Zoom Lions Ghana's limited contract under the Sanitation Improvement Package. Ongoing suspension of emergency and OPD services at the Tamale Teaching Hospital still in force despite appeal by the Health Minister. We have the latest on this raging issue. Later on Good Afternoon Ghana, we will tell you more about a planned protest by the New Patriotic Party and other parties against the suspension of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tukono. Welcome back. Accra High Court has struck out a suit against Galamsey Mas 4 demonstrators. Convener Kwame Appiah-Kubi announced to the press that the protests will proceed on April 28th. On Thursday, the police announced it has obtained an injunction against the demonstration with a call on the conveners to appear in court to justify the reason for their demonstration. And it's planned at endpoint at the presidency. But with the court ruling the path has also been cleared for the planned protests. Here's a convener of the group speaking to the media.
We have said that we are law-abiding citizens, and so at any point in time, we are going to comply fully by what our laws stipulate. Now, yesterday, the police administration at the Accra region called us into a meeting, and then to our surprise, they ambushed us with court suit, trying to frustrate the processes against our planned demonstration. Indeed, we abide by the suit. We were supposed to appear before the Accra High Court, Criminal Court 5, this morning at exactly 9 o'clock. We were here together with a team of our lawyers. Now, fortunately for us, when we came, the High Court has striked out the suit for which the police administration filed against us. We were simply saying that they were not going to allow us to mass up in front of the Jubilee House, which is around the Liberation Square. We have said to them that we disagree with them on that contest because there is nowhere, specifying that that particular enclave is a security zone, and for that reason, we cannot assemble at the point of ending our demonstration. They challenged us, and we said, yes, indeed, if you want to challenge us, the Public Order Act is very clear. It is only the court that can determine this, and we believe that Upon the engagement we had with them, they decided to go ahead with the court processes. But interestingly, the High Court has thrown out and struck down their case. And so everything we have planned from day one is still on course. We are very much focused. At this point in time, we will only invite all Ghanaians, the churches, the mosques, the civil society groups, the youth who are mostly affected about the things we are doing today, and then the future generation who do not yet have the mouth to even advocate for themselves. That today, let's come on board and then speak against Galamsey with one voice. Because today, if you believe you live in Accra, and for that matter, you are not concerned or bothered about this whole thing happening, then tomorrow it will affect your child. Definitely your extended family, one or two of them, will definitely be affected. We are not saying that we are against mining, no. But if indeed we want to do mining, and indeed we want our economy to benefit from mining, there are so many better ways for which we can do mining without destroying our water bodies. And so we are very much focused as a group. We have said that on the 28th at exactly 2 p.m., we are all gathering at Obrasport. That is when the demonstration itself will begin. We'll go through the Ring Road Central, straight to the police headquarters, submit a petition to the IGP and ask him that in all the mining areas in this country, I mean, we have police officers and then commanders who are supposed to enforce the laws for which we have the Act 703, which is our Minerals and Mining Act. That stipulates clearly that if you want to do mining, there are A, B, C, D processes you ought to follow. Why is it that people are destroying the environment and yet the law enforcement agencies are unable to duly apply the law? And so it is time for us to speak up. It is time for us to call duty bearers to action. They must ensure that this canker called Galamsey has fallen, and that is our mission and that is our focus. It has nothing to do with President Mahama. It has nothing to do with the new government in office. It has nothing to do with the NPP.
Meanwhile, a convener of the Galamsey Mass 4 protest, Okatechi Afifa Mensah, joins me on the phone. Hello? Hello? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good to hear you. All right, so why are you protesting against a government that is less than 6 months in office? Are you not satisfied with the government's efforts so far?
I don't believe there's any timeline that we must place on the fight against something that threatens our very existence as a people. So I don't know if, because it's 3 months into the government's ruling, Galamsey will stop killing people, people will stop getting diseases, pregnant women will stop having infections from the Galamsey activities. I don't think nature works that way. So the premise of the question cannot be on whether or not the 3 months or 6 months old of government. We are looking at the activities that the government is taking, the measures being put in place to fight Galamsey, and we are seeing clearly that there is a lack of political will. And almost everything that this government is doing will lead us to nowhere, because there's a saying that you cannot continue to be doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. For the 3 months that this government has been in power, there is nothing new that the actual administration did not do for which this government is inventing. They are only reinventing the wheel. And we believe so strongly that if they go the same tangent for which the actual administration went, obviously it will lead us to nowhere. It becomes a circle of going around in circles to nowhere. Again, before the coming into office, when this government, then in opposition, was campaigning, most of them called for certain measures to be implemented by the actual administration, for which that government did not do. One of such is the calling for declaration of state of emergency. Again, they called on government to be able to repeal the LI 2462, which allows people to enter into our forest for extraction of gold at the detriment of our forest and water bodies. For which, when they came, They've shifted away from the repeal to an amendment. And we have seen clearly, in 3 days, we've seen clearly that the measures being put in place by this government, it will lead us to nowhere. Hence, our quest to put his leg to fire and make sure that this government does what is right for the good people of this country.
All right, let me ask you this. What do you seek to achieve from this protest?
We seek to draw attention to the international bodies that the Galamsey menace is a threat to our existence as a people. That is one. So they should come to our aid if there need be. 2, the person who has been given the executive authority of our nation by the contractual agreement we have, the social contract agreement we have with him, we've reposed him a certain confidence from the elections that was held in 2024, and subsequently his swearing in as the President of the Republic, giving him military, giving him police, giving him all the resources at his disposal to be able to use that to protect us. And yet, it looks like the political will to be able to take some decisive measures is not there. So we are seeking to call on him that we have honored our part of the social bargain, for which we've given him the power, we've given him military, we've given him access to funds through taxes. Now it is his part that he's supposed to honor by being able to use that executive power given him to come up with cogent measures to be able to deal with this Galamsey issue. So we seek to just draw the attention of our president, that is John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, to be able to come to our aid and see the need for him to take extreme measures like the declaration of state of emergency on our small-scale mining activities, and also repealing, not amendment, of LI 2462, which allows people to get into our forests and destroy our water bodies and forests. These are the 2 major things. Besides that, we cannot also sit in a country where we believe in the rule of law, and the rule of law, which is the Constitution, speaks about the discrimination of laws. Here we are, where through the Interior Minister, this government has come to tell us that in the event that any foreigner, be it Chinese, be it Burkinabe, be it anybody, is caught in the act of destroying our forests and water bodies, then those people who have come to destroy our water bodies, the only thing that we will do to them is to expedite, or whatever they call it, take them to their home countries to go and enjoy with their wife and kids. Whereas the people that live in this country, they will be drinking from the very water that this person has come to destroy. That law is discriminatory and clearly is against the Constitution, for which we are asking that the government cannot take that trajectory if indeed he wants to fight Galamsey. Again, through the institution of Gold Board, it is inadvertently going to promote Galamsey, because they've said that the Gold Board is going to buy 12 tons of gold every month from small-scale mining in quotes. Because you and I know that although on paper they may say small-scale mining, but the activities of these individuals in our forests do not conform with the parameters within which small-scale miners are supposed to. So these are measures that we call it on the government.
So let me finally find out from you, are you likely to extend it to the other regions?
Well, I'm sure we will allow nature to take its course, depending on the way the people will call us. If there is a need for us to replicate same in different regions, why not? But we believe that the seat of government is in Accra, and they have the executive authority to be able to do certain things. So when we've had a conversation with them through the registration of our displeasure, clearly we would have sent enough message for which they must get up and act. That is all we are saying.
Thank you very much, Okitechi Efrifah, one of the conveners for the Galamsey Must Fall demo. We've been talking to him this afternoon. All right, so we're going to look at other stories, and the Sanitation and Water Resources Committee of Parliament has rejected position by Manasseh Azuri to end all contracts with Zoomlion Ghana Limited. According to the chairman of the committee, John O.T. Bless, Manasseh Azuri has been invited to come before the committee with any relevant evidence supporting his position on Zoomlion Ghana Limited. He made this known after the committee toured the Kumasi compost and recycling plant of the Zoomlion Ghana Limited in the Ashanti region.
I think I disagree with him. Zoomlion or Just One is a Ghanaian. If there are issues, that's why we have leaders. We have to address them. So we are planning as a committee, since it has to do with the subject matter sanitation, we want to invite Manasseh Zuri to appear before the committee anytime, maybe from next week onwards. Parliament will be resuming. We are currently on break. We are resuming on the 12th of next month or so. We invite him to come and share the information he has as far as this issue is concerned, so that we'll find a way out. But definitely, once it has to do with Ghanaians, many thousands of Ghanaians will lose their job if this contract is not renewed. So we, as a committee and the representatives of the people and the beneficiaries of this Zoom Lion project or business are in our constituencies. Like I said earlier, when we're campaigning, I believe every rural MP will attest to this, because we represent the interests of the people, not ourselves. You see, so everywhere you go as a rural MP, they will tell you they need a year juma, and the juma we hear is Zoom Lion juma, and one and they were sweeping on daily basis until these non-payment issues. They were sweeping on daily basis, but now it has stopped for almost 2 years now.
Away from that, Chairman for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology, Yaw Frimpong Addo, says the committee will push for a legislation which prioritizes waste segregation at source in order to enhance easy waste management in the country. He made the remarks during the committee's visit to the Kumasi Integrated Recycling and Compost Plant, ARICOP, a subsidiary of the Jospon Group of companies.
Ghana, like many developing countries, faces challenges in solid waste management as population increases. Ghana records about 12,710 tons of daily solid waste generated, with only 10% collected and disposed of properly. Waste segregation at source is one practice considered as viable means of addressing the country's waste. The Parliamentary Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology visits a recycling and compost plant in Kumasi to familiarize itself with the operations of the company, abreast with the issues of sanitation, and make recommendations for policymakers. On day one of the tour, the committee visited ARICOP plants in Kumasi, Sehirioso, Bono, and Ahafo. Addressing the media, Chairman for the committee, Yaw Frimpong Addo, applauded the operations of the company and called for innovative ways of managing Ghana's waste.
The private sector is encouraged to play certain roles for the people. And that's exactly what the Jospon Group of companies is doing in terms of waste management. And there are different categories of waste management which we are dealing with. And so far as the committee is concerned, the first day has been good. There are a few issues that will appear in our reports. That is waste separation. It is quite central for the management of waste by this company, and I'm sure this applies to all other companies. And this is something that is within the domain of the committee, because it must come by way of legislation.
Yaw Frimpong reiterated the need for government to settle all outstanding debts it owes Zoom Lion Ghana Limited to enable the company stay in operation and help deal with waste management in the country.
A company performs such a critical role and is owed that much. But they mentioned the amount and I felt that it was quite huge. How would he take care of the workers and even maintaining the plants and all that? It's not a Father Christmas company. But it's working hand in hand with government to create a very congenial environment for all of us to survive.
The Integrated Recycling and Compost Plant, ARICOP, was established to retrieve, process, and recycle municipal solid waste to produce organic compost for agronomic purposes in the country.
Time for Tidy GH as we continue to keep Ghana clean. Presiding member for Wejak Bawe Municipal Assembly, Aiti Blankson, has called on the government to equip the various assemblies with logistical support to address the sanitation and flooding situation in their respective assemblies. He spoke during a cleanup exercise by Young Progressive Network at Oblogo in the Wejak Bawe Municipal Assembly.
Flooding has been a global pandemic the past decade in many parts of Africa, including Ghana. It has been an annual tragedy which has claimed many lives and property. Flooding experienced in many parts of country as a result of poor drainage system and disposal of plastic waste into drains. The cleanup exercise by the Young Progressive Network saw residents from Oblogo electoral area came together to desilt some major drains and gutters in the area. Presiding member for Wejagbawe, Aite Blankson, reiterated the need for enforcement of sanitation laws.
The sanitation situation in the assembly, not only Wejagbawe, but as a nation, we are lacking a lot. And then I think all the municipal and district assemblies need to be up and doing. You can see that is what we have started through the regional minister. Although we are on it already, but logistics, the assemblies need logistics. And I'll entreat the Ministry of sanitation to at least equip the assemblies with logistics to be able to do more. Because as an assembly, you go to some assemblies, they can't generate much.
Convener for the Young Progressive Network, Patrick Boydu, wants sanitation task force formed in all assemblies to promote a sustainable environment.
Well, this is a long-term project. Like I said, we are not going to end it because we are anticipating that the rainy season is just around the corner. We're going to continue with it, but basically, we want to encourage the assembly members because we can't be at everywhere at the same time. So, for example, as we have come to Oblogo electoral area, we'll be leaving Oblogo electoral area next month to Bawe East. And so when we are in Bawe East, we don't want the assembly member for the areas that we have been already, like Malam East and Oblogo. We want them also to come out with what we call sanitation task force, so that, the task force will also help them in their various electoral areas.
Assembly member for Oblogo electoral area lamented the poor sanitation situation in the area.
When it comes to sanitation, we have big challenges. And the main challenge is we don't have the necessary tools to do the cleanup exercise. Sometimes when we organize the cleanup exercise, we have to go and rent equipment before we can do the cleanup exercise. Recently, a factory was opened, a new factory was built around my electoral area, and they collected these plastic rubbers in terms of managing the waste or producing. They use the waste one to produce other materials. So when you come to Oblogo electoral area, we have people who collect plastic rubbers, and they will send it to the factory to sell to generate income.
Meanwhile, a group of concerned youth from the Ayawaso Central Municipality has appealed to President John Dramani Mahama to appoint Harry Otuhese as the next municipal chief executive for the area, citing his proven leadership, grassroots connection, and also long-standing commitment to community development. At a press briefing held in Accra, the group emphasized the need for a dynamic and visionary leader to steer the municipality towards sustainable development.
Honorable Harry Otuhese played a very big role, a very, very, very big role to win this seat. Before, the constituency was not united, and he is the person who united this constituency. He helped the MP a lot, he helped the party a lot. He do everything, he tried all his best so that we can win the seat, and by the grace of God, we were able to win the seat. Ayawaso Central, we have a bad rules. Even we don't have a secondary school apart from the ATTC, we don't have government hospital, we don't have even a police station in Ayawaso Central. And when you go to the municipal assembly, there's a lot of challenges there. And you need someone who is an assembly member, and he's 2 times assembly member. He knows the challenges there. So when you get there, things will be easy for us.
Chama Otu, in this particular constituency, he led this party as a chairman when the party was in opposition. In fact, he became the MC, the MP, and the chairman. Any problem that comes to do constituency is go to Chama Otu. Any problem is go to Chama Otu. In fact, if the party will listen to us seriously in this constituency, we are not saying Otu is the best among all of them, but we stay with Otu for so many years in this constituency. We know his contribution, his commitment, and the kind of respect that you show us, even the party itself. We are not forcing, but we are pleading. We are here. We know what we know here. Please, they should consider and give it to Chairman Otu for them to see the next election, the wonders that will happen.
About this MCE issue that is coming, we are begging our leaders, JM, we are begging Fifi Kote, we are begging Aselu Ketia, we the youth of Ayawasi Central, we know the people we work with them, and we know how we worked and then we achieved our victory 2025 for this seat. We have been looking for this seat for long, and Otu have been working with the grassroots. We fought, and now the victory has come. So we have to appreciate what Otu have done. Ayawasu soldiers, Ayawasu security.
The Tema Development Company is taking a hard stance against unauthorized development activities at the Ramsar site in Klagon. The managing director of the company, Courage Nunekweku, led a high-powered task force to demolish structures encroaching deep into the Ramsar wetlands.
Backed by personnel from the military and the National Intelligence Bureau, the operation saw several fence walls pulled down as part of ongoing efforts to preserve the ecologically sensitive Ramsar area.
It's so terrible that if we don't act quickly, we are in for trouble. To the extent that if you take a drone view, you will see that the Ramsar site have been entirely encroached.
The Ramsar site plays a critical role in flood prevention and is a haven for migratory birds. Encroachment, if unchecked, could expose large parts of the city to future disasters. The operation wasn't without resistance. Some chiefs and their followers stormed the site in protest, challenging the legality of the demolition exercise.
We want to preserve the area. We want to preserve the citizens. We have been proactive. We will not sit down for the rain to start. Then we are running around trying to find out how do we rescue people who are flooded and etc. etc.
One businessman seen using sand to reclaim the Ramsar land for construction became confrontational when asked to stop.
All right, so we're going to take a break, but before that, I'm going to hand it over to Annie, and she's going to continue from there.
The Galamsey issue. What do you make of the government's approach in how it is actually starting the fight of Galamsey since it's assumed office?
Well, I can't say much on it at the moment because as much as the government has laid out one or two things that has to be done, I'm looking forward to the point where it goes to all the regions and people are able to actually implement what the government wants to get done. Because well, sometimes plans are laid and then the unfortunate thing is things are not done. They tell us what has to happen, but then you go to the point where you are asking, okay, this was what was actually said, that has to be done, but then you don't see it being done, and then before you know, the year is gone, and the next thing you know, we are going into
because
elections.
If you look at these, the group that's embarking on the what's it called, demonstration, their reason is that the approach government has already started with is something that the previous administration did, and it failed. So it then means that you're just coming to continue what the previous administration was doing, which I think is a little, logical to go with.
And I do agree with them because, I mean, if you look at what is going on with Galamsey, we've been shouting, we've been crying. There's a lot of demonstrations that have happened in the past, and people are still doing it. And if the previous government had done the same thing, and what we are seeing now is the same thing that is being implemented, which we were against with the previous government, I don't think it's something that speaks well of the change that we are all asking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Nana Kwesi, thank you so much for
very much,
the news
Annie.
update. So those are the briefs in the headlines that's trending across the length and breadth of the country, but we're going to go into details where we'll also touch a bit on drugs, drug menace, arrests that's been made by government officials and institutions that are in charge of the country's security. We'll also get into the health sector where the issue of health matters. You know what unfolded in the Tamale Teaching Hospital this week, and the updates, all the updates that is happening there, whether the management have started working. We'll bring you the details, what exactly is happening. We'll explain that to you. We'll be speaking also with Richard Kumodo, who is also a fraud prevention analyst and a security analyst as well, on some of these developments that's coming up. But for now, we'll take a breather. When we come back, we'll get into details.
Fire pomudi ni agobi Ghana fueni age efri say ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ya sankofa natural spice
me de gumi jollof mu ni mi sti wa hodoma e ma ne dance
Stanley the barbecue the go on
sankofa natural spices and one you use 100% natural said the yepen
Adofo mamunye huge mistake sankofa natural spices the year
FDA agi ejedi nkratu yatu.
Connected to DSTV this April and May and get all the football finals you want.
At the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, our mission is to promote good driving standards on our roads and other public places. We can only achieve this by ensuring that every driver and vehicle owner has access to quality services and the right information to stay compliant with road safety regulations. This is why we are excited to introduce the 2025 National Community Outreach Program, an initiative designed to bring our services and education closer to the public. This initiative is to actively engage transport unions, corporate entities, and communities. We invite you to stay connected as we bring DVLA services right to your doorstep. At DVLA, your safety will continue to be our concern.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ghana. Now, a number of issues to deal with, but of course, I think no week goes by without us mentioning the issue of Boko. And this time, the Ghana Armed Forces have released a statement about a development that came out clarifying something that has come up on your screen. It is issued by Department of Public Relations General Headquarters, Burma Camp, Accra. And it says, Gov denies attack on coast at Boko. So the attention of the Ghana Armed Forces has been drawn to 2 videos that have gone viral on social media alleging the Chief of the Army Staff, Major General Lawrence Kweku Betanu, has been attacked in Boko. GAF wishes to state that the content of the said videos are false and should be treated with the contempt that they deserve. Now, COAS operational visit to Boko on Wednesday, 23rd of April 2025 was successful and no negative incident was recorded. Efforts are, however, underway to track the originators of the videos in question to face the law as appropriate. Goes on to say that GAF once again wishes to caution bloggers, content creators, and the media at large to be circumspect in the reportage on GAF operations, especially in Boko, since any deliberate misinformation and disinformation of the populace have a potential to worsen the security situation in the area. So I just wonder why people enjoy doing things like this. You know, so if you receive so you see it's signed by E. Agri Kwashi, Brigadier General of Public Relations at GAF. If you, in case you actually receive any video on your phone, kindly do well to confirm the originators of the video, or from the originators of the video, the authenticity of that video, before you even put a caption on it. And if you're not sure, but you see that maybe the content of the video is dangerous, you know, in terms of the public consumption, then you are careful what you write there. If there's any person that can confirm that video for you, you create that space for people to know that it's not a video that you have confirmed, but of course it raises concern, right? So that you don't just conclude. And let's not use the advantage we have on social media to abuse the public with misinformation and disinformation. So this is a release that's just come from the Ghana Armed Forces that we have to put out. And remember that the Boko situation is quite fluid. And so you be careful any information you're putting out associated with it. The parties involved are all very sensitive, you know, about all the development that is happening. So please, let's watch our backs with all the updates and the information that we are putting as far as Boko is concerned. Everybody is concerned about Boko, and we want peace in that area. Let's move away from Boko, but still stay within the northern part of Ghana, but specifically in Tamale with the updates on health issues. And despite the health minister appeal to the doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital to call off the strike, the management remain adamant as emergency and outpatients remain shut to patients. The doctors say until the health minister renders an unqualified apology to them, they will not budge. Now, Northern Regional Correspondent Hassan Dibapa has actually visited the hospital and is coming through with some updates for us. Dibapa, thank you for your time. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Annie.
All right. So let's know, first of all, give us the updates in Boko. What exactly is happening? What do you want us to know in the hospital? I mean, in Tamale, pardon me.
All right. Thank you so much, and good afternoon to our viewers. Yes, I visited the hospital this morning, and activities were going on smoothly at the hospital. It is like the doctors do not intend to hurt the good people of the region or patients, because so many activities were going on, but the outpatient department was still shut down. And the emergency, there were so many people in the emergency department, but actually I was not allowed to get access to the department because the security there told me personally that leadership of the department says that they should not allow any media person into the emergency department. But I could clearly see that it was running. What is also developing is the fact that the leadership of the hospital, especially the doctors, are in a meeting currently, and I just spoke to one of them a minute ago before even coming on this call, and he told me that the meeting is all about what is happening, and they are trying to consider to see if they should go back or they should resume work. But as we speak, they are still with their stand that nobody is going to work until the minister apologizes. But on the streets of Tamale, people are not, as a matter of fact, happy with the doctors. People are not happy with the doctors, and they are calling on them to call the illogical strike off. That is what many people on the streets of Tamale are describing it, because they are trying very much to find out what exactly went wrong at the hospital that will warrant this strike. Because many people are asking if they are going on strike because of the dismissal of the CEO, or what transpired between the minister and the leader of the emergency unit. And they are finding it difficult to know exactly why the doctors should be on strike. So that is what is happening in Tamale currently. But many of the hospitals within Tamale are getting very busy, because many patients are being sent to those hospitals to get medical care. But the Tamale Teaching Hospital, as a matter of fact, is still also busy, because many patients are there. And I am asking myself whether all of them were already on admission, or they are secretly taking patients in without our notice. But things are moving on smoothly at the hospital, but security at the hospital is very tight, and they don't want people to know exactly what is happening. But I am told confidentially that they are in a meeting, and they will communicate to us what the outcome of the meeting is when they are done.
This meeting time was scheduled in the morning, no?
Pardon?
The meeting time was scheduled in the morning. They started the meeting in the morning.
In the morning, and they are still in the meeting.
Wow. When you say security is tight, give me the picture. What exactly is it looking like? Have they gone for police to guard the hospital, or they are just using internal security to stop, individuals from entering for information?
Well, they don't stop individuals from entering the hospital, and it is not the officers from the Ghana Police Service. You know, the hospital itself has its own security. Mm-hmm. And first, it was easy for you to access every department or every ward without the security stopping you. But right now, if you are going into every department or every ward, the security will want to know why you are going in there, whether you have a patient there or not. And many of us are very known in the region, and if you are going into any ward, they will not even allow you, because they know very well that you are a media person. And it is also difficult, because if you tell them you have a patient, they find it difficult believing. But they are using the internal security to ensure that things are put in order. So that is what is happening at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. So we are waiting keenly to see what the outcome of the meeting is. But one officer told me that we should expect good news. That's according to that person, but the person speaks confidentially to me that we should expect good news, and we are all hoping that the strike will be called off, because there's a possibility of a demonstration in Tamale against the hospital if the doctors continue to be on strike, because many people are beginning to feel like the doctors don't see the need to treat, or they don't value the human life. Or
exactly, Dibaba. The accounts were taken from persons who traditionally come from Tamale or have lived in Tamale, members of parliament, the residents of Tamale, officials who have experienced the Tamale Teaching Hospital non-complete service provided by the hospital, have all complained. I'm not sure what picture you can give us about the opinion the people hold on the services provided by the Tamale Teaching Hospital, because in this case, they are using the excuse of unavailability of water, as an excuse or as a reason for the poor management of health cases. But if you put together the data we've collected on the opinions of the service of this hospital, it doesn't come across as a positive picture. What can you tell us?
Well, thank you so much for this question. I think we have answered this question a number of times, and I think I have to still answer it. The issue of Tamale Teaching Hospital, as a matter of fact, is like almost every family within the region has a story which is negative about the Tamale Teaching Hospital, which is not very good. In fact, many or every family will have a negative story about the Tamale Teaching Hospital. So we can't entirely say it's due to lack of facilities, because the hospital, per my checks, has 3 water tankers that can provide water for the hospital and beyond. But they are not doing that. I was told yesterday that one of the tankers the ties of the tankers is having some problems, but I don't think the internal generation of the hospital will not be able to fix the ties of the water tanker. But 2 are in operation. So are they telling us that all the 2 tankers or both tankers cannot supply enough water for the Tamale Teaching Hospital? That is a very big question. But they also complain that where they are taking the water hydrants, where they are taking the water from, they do it with the public, and it is becoming very difficult for them. So many of them are calling on the government to get specific hydrants for the hospitals and the military or the police. And according to them, that will help them a lot. But the picture or the opinion on Tamale Teaching Hospital, the opinion residents are having about Tamale Teaching Hospital is not a positive one. And we can't blame them because almost every family has a story to tell about Tamale Teaching Hospital, which is not positive. People are also beginning to ask questions about what they use their internal generation for, because the hospital is a facility that generates a whole lot of money. We are now beginning to see that somebody told me that they generate about 60 million Ghana cedis per year or per month. And it will be very difficult for them to say that they can't use that amount of money for anything positive. They also complain that electricity tariffs are killing them. But I have been in meetings where the NETCO engaged them, and it was loud and clear that NETCO cannot take Tamale Teaching Hospital out of power because of the debts that they are owing them. But yet we still have all those challenges, even though many people believe they don't pay much to those utility facilities. But it's becoming a very big challenge in the northern region because people are beginning to be angry with managers of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And then this brings about the challenge that the new CEO is going to get or is going to face if he doesn't do the right thing. Because many people, in fact, almost everybody within the region are expecting him to perform or to do better than his predecessors. And it is going to be something that we are all going to be looking out for from the new CEO to do things right, so that people will begin to form positive opinion about the Tamale Teaching Hospital. I must admit, so many good things are happening at the hospital, but it seems the bad ones are beginning to outweigh the good ones, making people to lose trust in the management of the hospital. So it's a challenge, and we are all waiting patiently to see what positivity will come out of it. Because yesterday, the health minister presented a whole number of equipment to the hospital. Almost all the things that they demanded or requested for were given to them. So if any negative thing is coming from the Tamale Teaching Hospital again, people will begin to become extremely angry because what they were requesting for or what they requested for, the health ministry were able to give it to them. But many people were not also happy with the health ministry because they were asking questions. So you have all these equipment, and you knew very well that Tamale Teaching Hospital was lacking this equipment, but you never gave it to them until this incident happened. So many people were not also happy with the health ministry for keeping all those equipment without giving it to the hospital until now. But others are also asking questions. It could be that the hospital never requested for those equipment from the government, and the government wouldn't know that they needed them. So a whole lot of things are around the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
All right.
And
the question hold on there. You have actually spoken with a couple of people who want to air their views, and then I'll get back to you. So let's have the videos of persons from Tamale in Metropolis who have actually spoken about this development, and then we get back to Dibaba. So let's listen in.
Concerned about the TTH issues, you see, I think some of the doctors over there, they are not fair. They are even the cost of the downfall of the CM, especially the emergency ward. We have a unit in TTA where we refer it as a depth ward. Immediately they send your patient inside, your relative inside, know that that person will die over there at the TTA. We last took my father to TTA, referral from Tamale Technical University Hospital to TTA. It took about 3 hours for them to look for hospital bed for my father. And my father was in need of oxygen. He was only for that 3 hours, my father was depending on the ambulance oxygen. And they were there mingling with their phones. The nurses, the doctors, some of them, they need overhauling. Because there are good people there who are serious about their work, and there are bad ones among them.
My issue on TTH is that on
social media, I've seen that Minister of Health went to the hospital with surprise visit, and it was misunderstanding between the authority and the minister. Getting to a night, I've heard that the CEO has been dismissed. And yesterday on TV set, I've seen that they have replaced another CEO. This morning, when we wake up, they told me that they have gone on strike. So I don't know how come that they have gone on strike.
No, they should go. They should go on strike. Why? Because if, as announced, we don't have Aburna and Dana again. If you don't like person and the person you heard the person go to a TTH, you sit down, you just sit down and think that oh, as announced the person go out, he pass away. So that's with the members we are putting and done is TTH now.
All right, Dibaba, so these are some of the opinions you sampled for us in the metropolis of Tamale. Let's know how the hospital received the equipment they asked for when the minister was able to deliver some of them. How did the hospital receive it, and do the people in the area know about this, items that have been received?
Yes, people are very much aware of it because the media is very strong in the northern region, and the information was carried to the people swiftly. Even though the equipments are still on its way coming, we had information that the new CEO is going to bring the equipment down to the northern region, but they have not yet been sent to the hospital because, the presentation was done in Accra. And Annie, you can clearly see that people don't have trust in the hospital again. Some of the views on the streets of Tamale are very funny and very surprising and shocking because people, as a matter of fact, believe that TTH is the enemy of the northern people now. Many people do believe in that because they believe that any critical issue that is being sent to the TTH, just know that the person is dying, even though it is not entirely true. But that is the kind of opinion people are having.
So that's the myth. That's the myth of the people. In the area, that when you're taking a sick person to Tamale, you already have a perception or conclusion that you're likely to lose him or her.
Exactly, that's the perception they are having, and it's because of some of the incidences, some of the issues that are coming from the hospital. Because challenges, so much challenges are coming out of the hospital, especially patient-doctors relationship. Patient-nurses relationship is very, very bad at the hospital, according to many people. So because of that, people believe that the officials are not really serving the people, but they are in a form of ruling them. And if you get to the Tamale Teaching Hospital, all your rights will go away until you are off from the hospital. And that is not a good thing for us to be having in the northern region. So I think opinion leaders within the region, the authorities within the region should have to start public sensitization exercises about the hospital, and they should also have their eye on the hospital. And that is why I made mention that the new manager of the hospital will have a lot to do, because so many things will have to come from him to ensure that the trust between the hospital and the good people of the region are built back, which is going to be a very big challenge if nothing serious is done.
So, well, you saw that the list of items that were presented by the minister were, placed on the screen, maybe as and when the producers want to. But Dibaba, so is that to say that it took this confrontation between the minister and the management of the hospital to bring some of these issues to the fore? Have the people been complaining about all these years? And for how long, if you may estimate?
Like I rightly mentioned, the media the local media in the region are always on TTH whenever there is an issue. So they cannot say they are not aware of it. And people are very much aware of this issue. But as to whether the management of the hospital ever presented that challenges to the authorities, I mean the government, that I can't tell. But as a matter of fact, the issue is of public knowledge and has been there for years. If I am not mistaken, this issue has been with the region for almost 8 years. People have been complaining, mysterious deaths and all those kind of things. And that is really destroying the trust people are having in the hospital. And that is why I made mention that it is important for all of us to build that trust back. And it will take the new CEO to do a whole lot to ensure that that is done. Because this issue is not a new thing. And I can also confidently say that in the year 2017-18, that was the same reason that brought about the dismissal of the CEO then, because many people believed that a whole lot of things were not going on right in the hospital, and for that matter, they were expecting the CEO to go. And many people are also with the belief that, in fact, many health workers at the hospital even confirmed this to us behind the scene, that many monies, they make many people to pay monies at the hospital which are unauthorized, and they think that the media or other authorities should come in to expose those people, because according to them, many of the machines that they complain that are not working are normally or mostly working, but because they want to get some percentages from private operators, they have to always refer people to go outside and tell them the particular facility they want them to go and do those tests or those scans and bring them back to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. So a whole lot of speculations are around the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and I think a whole lot has to be done to ensure that those speculations, if they are true, then they will have to stop doing them, and if they are not true, a whole lot have to be done again to ensure that the trust of the people are brought back to the hospital.
Diba, can you hold on? We'll go through the list of items, and then we'll also take the minority has shared its opinion on it, and then we'll see what we can do. So, as you can see on the screen, we have the digital speak by manometer that has been sent. We have bowl with stand, we have instrument cabinet, we have ward screen, operating lamp. Okay, we have EEG, emergency resuscitation trolley, and then we have formal stethoscope, ambu bag, we have nebulizer set, and then we have wheelchair examination lamp, we have fetal heart detector, ECG machine, bulb suction, okay, pipette tips, I can't see from the screen. Okay, we have some defibrillator, okay, some very scary items there. But we have also Draga transport ventilator, Draga ICU ventilator, Draga IOU cardiac monitor, drape warmer, Drake resuscitators, Draga phototherapy. Okay, so there are about in total of 31 items that have been sent. But these items are items that are not in total of what really the hospital said it needs. The question still stands. If the items are brought to you, are you going to maintain them? Because obviously, until the health minister appeared in the hospital and posed questions, these were not really going to be issue of discussion, and people were going to go there always and be dying. Let's also look at the negligence of most of our hospitals lately. But also, we'll go through the statements from the minority, and the minority also says that we wish to first and foremost to express our utmost respect and appreciation for the selfless service and extraordinary professional commitment of the doctors and staff of Tamale Teaching Hospital in the face of the constrained resources and immense professional pressures. You continue to uphold the sacred duty of care to the people of Northern Ghana and beyond. Your service is not only noble, but indispensable to the nation's healthcare system. Okay, it says that We are, however, deeply concerned about the immediate and long-term implications of the suspension of critical services, particularly for the most vulnerable members of the society who depend on TTH4, that's at Tamale Teaching Hospital, for urgent care. While your concerns are valid and you demand legitimate, we respectfully appeal to the leadership and general members of the DATTH to consider as a matter of urgency and possibility of rescinding this decision in supreme interest of health, public health. So Dibaba, the minority leader has also added its word to appeal to the management of the district hospital to consider its decision, rescind the decision, and then so that they can give lives. But let me ask: do you see some of the patients stranded outside because the hospital has been shut to them?
That is why I made mention that I was surprised that the hospital was very busy, just like it used to be, and the outpatient department was virtually empty because people were not there. And we are suspecting that the people or people coming in with new issues are going to the alternative hospitals within the Tamale Metro or within the region, because as a matter of fact, people are not really stranded there. I believe it is only serious cases like serious emergency cases that they will have no option but to bring it or to send it to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And even yesterday, there was an emergency case that we experienced at the hospital. The person was rejected, but later we were told the person was sent in and was being attended to. But as a matter of fact, they don't allow the media people to go into the wards, especially the emergency ward. But people are not really stranded at the hospital. But as a matter of fact, it is going to impact on healthcare delivery at the hospital, especially within the region, because the Tamale Teaching Hospital is the biggest within the 5 northern regions and beyond. And there's no way doctors withdrawing their services within the hospital will not affect the good people of those regions that are benefiting from the hospital. But yet, just like the minority leader appeal, many people are also appealing to the doctors to rescind their decision. But the opinion on the streets of Tamale is that people are planning to demonstrate against them if they don't rescind their decision, because they see no reason for this strike to take place in the first place. So that is what is happening. And I believe after the meeting, there's a possibility that the doctors may call off the strike and resume work.
I'm grateful for that detailed report from Tamale and its environs there. So continue to monitor the meeting. As and when it closes, you give us an immediate update of what decision the management of the hospital, have come up with. Let me find out, were the people happy about the sacking of the CEO?
People are seeing that issue to be a normal thing, because it's like whenever there's a change of government, they normally change the CEO. So people don't really see that to be a problem. And people don't really care much about that because the information I am even picking is the fact that the new CEO and the outgone one are very good friends and they are very close. So people are even suspecting that they want to be exchanging the thing between the two of them. But that was on a lighter note. But as a matter of fact, people are not really having a challenge with the change of the CEO, but the manner in which it was done is the problem many people are having. Because when the health minister appeared at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, almost everybody within the region were happy, but it appears like they had wanted to change the CEO. That is why the health minister came, and that is why many people are not quite happy about. But people don't really have a problem over the change of the CEO. And many people are even with the view that the CEO, the outgone CEO was incompetent. That is why the hospital was being run down like the way it is now.
Very interesting there. All right. Dibaba, thank you for the details there. If the removal of the CEO actually came across as quite a normal thing for the people who utilize the hospital, I will be following through. We have scheduled to speak with the committee, the health committee in Parliament, who are also locked up in a meeting as we speak. So we're monitoring to bring you some more details from there. As and when they are a little flexible to speak with the team, definitely they will come across to speak with us. All right, you're still watching Good Afternoon Ghana. We're bringing you some more updates of what's going on across the country. And this has been the details of the hospital. We'll take a little breather, and then when we come back, we'll get into other issues of drugs.
Ama, nansi mi jeno wo bin enko ye kra o. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me hu se me nyo basima kra. Ama me kunu ni me into kwankwa. Oyiwa. Enye mo ko. Give us GC lecture and the capsules. Aye num bom. En ho asem na mo kana. E boa emma ene meme nyina. Na ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye be masima. Ya, we be boa wukunu. Ama ne giant sa wo de hye ne botum. Na wanyinya ne nti sese ne oyi chokoma. Give us GC mixture and then a capsule. Achesa.
Apinfo abata wo mo manufo ne nkwada wo ne fie dum yenu ka
MNC Group is a leading investment holding company with expertise in minerals and food commodity trading, precious minerals refinery, real estate development, and logistics and energy with individually registered companies. Our headquarters is located in Accra, Ghana, with operational offices in Dubai, UAE, Hong Kong, and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia in the USA, and Milan, Italy. We connect business markets and drive growth. Trust us to maximize value in every deal. Call us on 0302-551-917 or 0302-551-918 or send us an email mncgroup@mncgroupgh.com. MNC Group, totally reliant.
Connected to DSTV this April and May and get all the football finals you want.
The Ghana Celebrity Impact Awards, GCIA, is an annual award ceremony that recognizes and celebrates the outstanding contribution and impacts of Ghanaian individuals, corporate entities, and celebrities. It celebrates Ghanaian philanthropy, promotes social responsibility, empower youth and community development, and celebrate achievements in giving back to society, thereby fostering national pride and unity. Here are the nominees for Impact in Education Award category: Newmont Ghana Gold Limited, MTN Ghana Foundation, Olam Ghana, Telisol Ghana Foundation, B5 Plus Limited, Nestle Ghana, Ghana Commercial Bank, Ghana National Gas Company, Ghana Investment Promotion Council, GIPC, Pebi Corps. To vote for Impact in Education, go to www.GhanaCelebrityImpactAwards.com. For enquiries and table reservations, call 053-755-0058 or 053-753-5390. The Ghana Celebrity Impact Awards is brought to you by Visa King, GCIA, celebrating the spirit of giving back.
You're welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. Now let's get into the issue of, law and the Chief Justice, and then maybe later we'll deal with the issue of drugs. But a coalition of political parties has announced a national protest on Monday, 5, 2025, in the response to the suspension of the Chief Justice, vowing to resist what they describe as a reckless assault on Ghana's democracy. They include the New Patriotic Party, Liberal Party of Ghana, National Democratic Party, People's National Party, and the Ghana Union Movement. The parties called on all citizens, civil society organizations, and religious groups to join what they call a non-partisan national call to defend judicial independence. The parties claim that the move is not an isolated incident, but part of a broader scheme to capture every arm of government, of even the judiciary as well, recounting a failed attempt by the NDC in 2010 to remove the late Chief Justice, Justice Georgina Theodora Wood, the first female to hold the position in Ghana. On Thursday, Member of Parliament for Old Tafo Vincent Ekwasefa filed a motion at the Supreme Court seeking to restrain any further action towards the removal of the Chief Justice under the Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution. Through his lawyers, Asifwa, and praying for an order to halt all processes related to the Chief Justice's removal until the court determines the matter. The motion also seeks to suspend the operation of the warrant for the suspension of the Chief Justice, purportedly issued by the President under Article 146, Clause 10 of the Constitution. Meanwhile, the Ghana Bar Association also has called for strict adherence to the rule of law and constitutional processes unfold to determine the fate of the Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. Now, the GBA emphasized the importance of upholding constitutional principles through the proceedings. All right, you're welcome back. Let's now go onto the phone lines and Zoom as well to engage two persons. Xavier Kuje, he's a PR for Ghana Bar Association, and he's joined us via phone, I think. Xavier is by phone. Xavier, can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and you're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana. Also, a ranking member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs of the Committee Parliament, Kwame Anyimedwenchi, has also joined us via Zoom. Honourable Member, you're welcome. Good afternoon to you. Hello? Ms. Anyimedu, can you hear me? I think you're muted, so if you can unmute, kindly unmute. You're muted, so please unmute. Let me try it once again. Honourable Member, can you hear me? Okay, as we try to work with Mr. Anyimedwu, if the producers can just speak with him to unmute, and then we'll get to him later. But Xavier Kuje is with us, and he is a PR for Ghana Bar Association. Xavier, you're welcome again, once again. So let me ask you if so far the Ghana Bar Association has gone through the processes and where we are, do you think that we have upheld the legal procedures, which seems to be the key of your release? Hello, Xavier. Xavier. Mr. Kuje, can you hear me? Okay, so we're hoping to speak with Xavier and also the Honourable Member of Parliament. He's actually the ranking member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs. Xavier, can you hear me again?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I was asking earlier, so far, how far, having the Ghana Bar Association go through with us the legal procedures involved in the removal of the CJ or hearing of this petition. What do you make of what we have done so far?
Well, I don't think that it would be appropriate for me to be judgmental at this point because it's an evolving process, and I think it would be appropriate or more appropriate for us to wait for the outcome of the process. Then, if there are any issues to be raised, they can be raised because at the end of the day, the proceedings and the outcome of whatever goes on before the committee or the whole process is even subject to the jurisdiction of the court. So I don't think it will be appropriate for me now to do any assessment. To
doing an assessment? So,
yeah,
so with your statement, you said Ghana Bar Association statement on the process of the removal from office of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, and you say that over the 2 months, if I will pick just excerpts of it, over 2 months for now, the General Council of the Ghana Bar Association has been closely monitoring the developments on the process for the removal of the Chief Justice, which has culminated in her suspension by His Excellency, the President of Ghana, per the Constitution, Code of Ethics and Regulations of the GBA. The GBA concerns itself with matters affecting the legal profession, which include, but not limited to, defending and upholding freedom and justice in Ghana, and also the maintenance of the independence of the judiciary. So, you also go on to say that the GBA is mindful of the provisions of Article 146 Clause 6 and 7 of the Constitution, which detail the processes of the removal of the Chief Justice by by providing as follows, which we can read what is contained in the Constitution. But so what did you seek to put out?
Yeah, what we're communicating is that you realize that when the whole process got triggered, a lot of commentary was being run, but it appears the level is taking political, making us lose sense of the fact that it's even a constant process that has been triggered by the president. So what we're saying is that everybody should be restrained in their comments that it makes. Some people have even come to a conclusion faulting some of the processes. Mm-hmm. The question I ask is, on what basis is that being done? Because don't forget what is in the public domain, which is labeled or described as a leaked petition. As a lawyer, I would not deal with that because the whole process, per the process as outlined, we're not supposed to even know anything till it is out. It is when the committee's work is done that we'll go to know the contents of the various petitions that have been submitted, and based on which the committee arrive at this report. So it will be dangerous at this time for people who are dealing with documents which are in the public domain unofficially and coming to conclusion. That is what we want to avoid. That is why we didn't even see anything wrong and treating and encouraging the actors to go through the process as detailed by law and the Constitution, so that at the end of the day, the rule of law will prevail. That is what we sought to do.
I mean, I appreciate where you're coming from with both political parties, the NPP and the NDC, seeming as though they both have more information involved in or contained in this petition. I'm not sure, maybe you're a lawyer, you can educate us. What penalties is it likely to attract? Because we're not supposed to know, but we know. And we're already discussing even excerpts of the petition on televisions, radio, and all.
Well, I don't want to go into even penalty. What I want to let those people know is that what if it turns out that what you claim to be the petition is not a petition after all? Because the only authentic petition that anybody can talk about is the one officially released from at the end of the process by the president or on the orders of the president. So I don't even want to talk about penalties. That is what I want us to take it, have in mind. That look, let's allow the processes to be followed. So far, I cannot stick my neck out to say that that is the petition because no formal release of the petition has been done.
If you can take the last line, you said no what?
No formal release, yes, of the petition has been done to the public. That can only happen after the process is concluded. So if people are relying on a certain petition, I don't know where they are getting it from. You see, whatever at the end of the day, as I asked earlier, the petition that is before the committee is not what they are dealing with in the public domain. How are we going to address that? So let us be patient. It will not take forever. There's nothing that's forever in this world.
Right, Mr. Kuche, so how do you think we can literally stay off discussing this matter, at least into the details that we're already doing? How are you just throwing a word out there, hoping that the political parties will go by it, or you are cautioning the media probably not to even table the matter for discussion and leave it, you know, for it to fester and for the legal processes to also take its route? We already have a group of political parties that are saying they're embarking on a demonstration because they think that the judiciary is under siege, you know, and things like that. How are you going to control all these? I mean, you are the legal advisors.
You see, we can't control that, but you see, I think that it's just reasonable that we stick to our own procedures. You see, the president is not doing this in a vacuum. The president has triggered a constitutional provision, and there are processes to be followed through to the end. So staying away or restraining ourselves, as you put it, will not make the matter fester. It will rather give everybody a clean mind and a concentrated position on the matter. Don't forget, we are almost at the tail end. Now that a committee has been set up, their job is to go into the merits of the petition and give us an outcome. So why the rush? At the end of the day, the committee's decision is subject to the jurisdiction of the court. So where lies the fear? The fact that the Chief Justice has been suspended does not mean that she's no longer the Chief Justice. She's still the Chief Justice until the committee decides otherwise.
Right. You give us your last words before I let you go. So if that's your advice, what else do you think we should do? But the committee, the group that is going on the demonstration, you think that's okay, right?
Oh, is their right? But as to whether that's the proper thing to do or not is another matter.
Okay, then I ask you, is it a proper thing to do?
I will not answer that question.
Why not?
I will not, because I know we are dealing with law. Do demonstrations resolve legal issues? We've tried it in this country so many times. If you remember when Honorable Dana Burakpi was jailed, NDC went on demonstration. He wasn't brought out from prison. So I think that we should learn to keep away from some of these things and allow our institutions to work and our processes to work.
All right, Mr. Kondo, we thank you. Kujoje, we thank you for your time this afternoon. We'll leave it here. And he speaks for the Ghana Bar Association coming through. He says that the release that they're giving is just to let us know that we are all, you know, in this together, watching the president and keeping an eye on the legal procedures that, you know, have come up or that are involved in these processes. Already we're getting to the tail end of it. If we have gotten to the suspension state, it doesn't necessarily mean that the CJ is no more CJ. She's still CJ, except for the fact that the committee has been set up. So we're still waiting for, you know, this decision by the committee to be met. And then they will give us the conclusion. I'm sure the committee, you know, going forward will call the CJ and then they will investigate the matter further. Let's go on to Zoom again and engage Honorable Member Kwame Anyimedu. Is he on phone? Okay. Honorable Kwame Anyimedu Ntwi is on phone. He's a ranking member on Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee. Honorable, you're welcome once again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam.
Right, thank you for your time. So I've just gone off the phone with Xavier Kujoje, PRO of the Ghana Bar Association. His opinion is that the matter has been too partisan, politicized, and that is not appropriate, thinking that the president is going through the constitutional procedure. So we should leave everything, including the demonstration that's looming.
It's very interesting. Good afternoon to your listeners. I am surprised he's saying that it's going as partisan and therefore we have to watch the proceedings. It is political. I agree with what was said by the contributor, but had it not been politics, hadn't we changed, if we had not changed the presidency, if the executive had not changed in January, we wouldn't experience or go through what we are going through. That is obvious. It is, I look at it that we are attacking democracy because the executive is attacking the judiciary, and that is a worry. And so when he says it's political, yes, it's being political. It's being it's politics. If it had not been the change of government from the MPP administration to the NDC administration, we would not be experiencing what is going on. So yes, it is political.
Yeah, but it is not partisan.
It's very difficult where to draw the line. I don't agree with anybody that would say that it is not partisan. I wouldn't agree with that. We expect that the Chief Justice, being the head of the judiciary, no party would attack. But if you give me an impression that because the Chief Justice was appointed under a certain political party and not under this political party, and therefore we have to hunt the Chief Justice by hook or crook, because the petitions, the 3 petitions, I've read through them all, and I've read the response of the Chief Justice, and I think that the Chief Justice is being hunted.
Honorable, you may want to explain it further. When you say that she was appointed by a political party and therefore that makes it partisan, what exactly do you mean? Because, yes.
That's my view, that because it was not, the Chief Justice was not appointed during the tendency of the NDC administration, by crook or hook, the NDC would want to remove it. That's how I see it, and therefore I see it as partisan.
So is the Chief Justice position a partisan appointment?
It should not be. And that's why it's a worry that another political party would come up and say that because this Chief Justice, we did, and then mind you, when they were doing the campaign and they said that they were going to reset Ghana, they said that they were going to remove the Chief Justice. They said it among other things. And that's what they are heading towards. And so it is a worry. I am worried, I am particularly worried about what is going on.
Okay, so make me understand that, make me understand that the appointment of the Chief Justice is not a partisan appointment. That's what you're saying. But the removal process is partisan.
It should not be. When the Chief Justice is appointed, how he is appointed, how the Chief Justice would be removed, because it says that under Article 146, it says that by misconduct, when there is infirmity of mind and incompetence, then they try to see that, let us see if there's a loophole here. Let us find a way. And then, mind you, the Chief Justice is the head of the judiciary. All cases that will go to the Supreme Court, she is responsible for empaneling the panel, the judges that will sit on any case that is appointed. And if any political party would want a case or a panel to go to their advantage, and the Chief Justice is a block to them, I think the best thing they have to think of is her removal. And that's, I see it as, and that's my personal opinion. I'm not speaking on behalf of the party now, even though the party or the minority had given us our opinion. In my personal opinion, I think that the Chief Justice is being hunted, and I think it's a worry for the whole nation. And that is why people say that democracy is being attacked. Let us rise up. I am with them.
You are with who?
with those who say that democracy is being attacked and therefore we have to rise to the occasion and fight
But
for
from,
that.
honorable member, from where you sit as a ranking member on the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament or of Parliament, your position is a little, more like you have to hold a national neutral position, sort of, to look at it objectively and not to just take sides. Because you can see, as the PRO of the GBA said, the president is going through the constitutional proceedings. Whatever is on his mind and on the minds of the maybe other parties involved in this process is a non-starter to argue with.
Even when we see that is what is in the pipeline, we have to talk about it.
What was in the pipeline?
Even when we see that this is where we are heading towards, we need to guard against that.
And
I don't see, maybe if you want to ask me that if I were the president, what would I have done? If I were the president, in conjunction with the Council of State, I wouldn't even refer this matter to the Council of State in the first place, because I see the charges as very flimsy.
Why would you say that? I mean, if the president received the petition,
any good merit in this, when you say a prima facie case, when it is like doing, I don't know if you follow, for a criminal proceedings, for instance, sometimes you do, when the prosecution are finished with their case, then you have to determine whether a case is made, and the judge would have to rule. Probably the lawyer for the defense would have to move that there is no case for the plaintiff to answer. And if the judge is of the opinion that what the counsel has said is right, the judge would not call the defense to answer. To say these things, we are talking about three arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, the legislature. Now, one arm of government gets up and says that the head of the judiciary traveled on vacation. Maybe you haven't asked me about the substance, so maybe I should be careful here. But on the face of it,
I will ask you on the substance, and it's not a substance I am even standing by, but it's making.
The is suspended on these grounds, on these flimsy charges against it.
So GBA said we've not been served with any official statement regarding the content of the petition. So whoever is discussing any section or some sort of excerpt from the petition, I mean, you cannot really go by it. In fact, you know better as the ranking member of the Constitutional Committee.
Well, I have read it. I have read the contents. I've read the petitions. However I got it, I'm sure you've also read it.
Pardon?
So if the GBA had not been served, I'm a member of the GBA, but that's not, I say that, that's why I say that personally, this is what I'm saying. And if you want to ask me about my position as a ranking member, I think as a committee would also discuss that, but I'm seeking my own mind here.
You received the petition as a ranking member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs of Parliament?
No.
No,
I haven't received that. But I read it through other means.
Through what?
I haven't officially received it as the ranking member of... I'm a member of the Judiciary Committee and also the ranking member of the Constitutional and Legal. But I have not been served officially.
So how did you receive the petition?
I'm sure you've also read the content of the petition, haven't you?
No.
Okay. Well, I have read it. A friend posted it to me, but it's not official. That's why I say that I have not read it officially.
Is the friend a member of the Council of State?
No, the friend is not a member of Council of State.
Is the friend a lawyer?
I don't know. I haven't asked the friend where the person got it from. And I have no reason to doubt what I had read.
Honorable Member, that's a disturbing development.
Oh, really?
Yes, you're not supposed to have access to the petition.
I'm not supposed to, but I am telling you that I have it. And if you like it, if you want after this interview, I'll forward a copy to you.
That's because of where you sit, and not just.
Not because I am the ranking member of Constitutional and Legal, and not because I am a member of the judiciary, because the committee have not been set officially.
Okay, so can you confirm
from other sources?
So can you confirm to us the content we're already discussing, that's the administrative offense purportedly that the CJ seems to have been breached, is said to have breached. Is that also contained? Is that contained in the petition?
Let us not behave like ostriches. Let us not behave as if we haven't seen what is going on and what is going on in Ghana, and why the Chief Justice is being suspended, and the petitions that the President had received. I had, and as I said, if you want to have a copy to read, you should, but probably you are behaving as an ostrich. Bury your head as if you haven't seen it. People are trying to say that, look, let us wait until it comes. Meanwhile, it's all over.
The petition is all over.
Yes.
Honorable Member, let me take your last words. You are saying that you are siding with those who are going on the street to demonstrate, thinking that it's a siege on the judiciary and all. Your last words before I wrap up with you.
Well, I think those that had, if they have taken to the streets, I'm at my village now, but if they have taken to the streets, they must have a reason to do that. It's only a madman that says that I don't know why I'm doing this. And it is a disturbing development for a nation. Today, somebody called me from United Kingdom, a lawyer for that matter, and called me and asked me, there is a disturbing news about Ghana. It is all over the world. And I would caution the president that he has to hasten slowly. For us to say that the president have come to office and within 3 months or under 6 months, the president would want to get rid of the Chief Justice, is a very disturbing news. And we must get up and fight this.
I'm grateful for your time. The ranking member on Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, Honorable Member Kwame Anyimedu Entry, speaking to us here on what's happening. But let me also still remind you that a group of political parties, or a number of political parties, about numbering 6, have come together to demonstrate against the decision that it's currently in process. So it's the coalition of political parties has announced a nationwide protest on the 5th of May in response to the suspension of the Chief Justice, vowing to resist what they describe, or the parties describe, as reckless assault on Ghana's democracy. They also include the New Patriotic Party, Liberal Party of Ghana, National Democratic Party, People's National Party, and Ghana Union Movement. The parties called on all citizens and society organizations and religious groups to join what they call non-partisan national call to defend judicial independence. Now, officials of the Narcotics Control Commission have intercepted a cargo shipment at the Swiss port that contained substances suspected to be cocaine, concealed within the consignment and destined for the Netherlands. A total of 73 slabs of the substances, narcotic substance, were discovered, weighing approximately 89.74 kilograms. Following the operations, 4 suspects were arrested and are currently in narco custody as investigations continue. Authorities say that this interception forms part of the ongoing efforts to clamp down on international drug trafficking nationwide operation through the Ghana ports. And joining me for discussion is the security consultant Richard Kumado on this particular development. Richard, thank you so much for your time. You're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana.
Thank you. And
Right. So let's firstly, let's talk about the latest that NARCOS says it has actually intercepted. What do you make of that development for now? What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's a good thing. We need to commend the security agencies involved. It shows that they are working in collaborative form to ensure that all our points of entries have become very sensitive, and people who want to deal in drugs will have to think twice again before they venture into entering into our country in particular. I would love it if they should extend this level of capacity building and this level of skillfulness in addressing issues of drugs and arms smuggling and human trafficking across the West Africa zone, because it has become a prevalent and a predominant crime the security agencies have struggled to deal with over the years.
If you check our zone, is Ghana amongst the loose, ports that these drugs actually go through? Because I think with the coming in of this government in the last 3 to 4 months, quite a number of arrests have been made. I can go through the data and give you all the details, but it looks like almost every week or 2 weeks we're arresting some sort of, or we're intercepting some sort of activity around drugs.
Yeah, so that tells you the national focus and national security intelligence and the dominant force has played. Then again, it goes to show leadership. If you look at the guy heading the BNI or the National Intelligence Bureau, is somebody who has worked within the system for a long time. If you look at somebody like Tung Berima at NACOP, he has been a police officer before, he's a lawyer, and he's in that unique position. If you look at Basiteli at immigration, he's somebody who has gone through the ranks, works under the likes of Pelisapon and Antibaba and many of these ones. These are young people who are coming together to say they want to work together to ensure that our point of entries have been sanctified. I would want them to take it a little bit further to say, yeah, arrest is great, investigations are great, but what makes it more effective and create a better and a beautiful deterrent is when you prosecute them, and secondly, when you confiscate the proceeds from crime. And once you are able to do that, it will upgrade your rankings a little bit within the international community. But so far, so good, and they deserve commendation.
So far, it has been series of arrests every month, sort of, or every 2 weeks we hear something. But the point you made mention of that we have to go further in prosecuting them. We don't get, the more, is it the media that's not going back to the agencies to get updates, or they have to just come back and say, well, we arrested these people or persons on this date, and this is how far we have gone with, these procedures you expect them to upgrade our fight of drugs with?
Yeah, it could be done in both ways. But of course, the director of BNI wouldn't hold a press conference. The National Security Coordinator will not hold a press conference. The Director of Immigration will not hold a press conference. Worst scenario to be the police. But then again, we have a unique opportunity where the Attorney General engages the media frequently. Let's hope that when it comes to the next engagement, he will pick some of these cases so that the media personnel available may have the opportunity to throw in 1 or 2 questions. Other than that, we need to watch after one another's back. It has always been the case that once investigation delays, then they have to hold on to the drug as an exhibit, particularly when prosecution is an option. In doing so, if there's a switchover, then you are going to have cases where cocaine turn into coconte and many of these ones, and they may slip through. So I'm encouraging them, they have done well, but prosecute them and make sure you confiscate the crime proceeds or the assets that have been bought as a result of these criminal activities. And that will be a much more better deterrence to people within the West Africa region.
How do we raise proceeds in drug arrests?
Okay, so predominantly drug activities goes with money laundering, and it goes with human trafficking, and it goes with arms smuggling. And many of these guys may have people within the financial sector where they pass through some of these transactions. The financial intelligence sector, the FIC, over the years have tried so hard to bring the rare estate into the accountable institutions arena so that activities within the real estate could be monitored, and compliance levels will also be attained. Because one of the ways they also pass through some of this laundered money is to pass it through the real estate, predominantly when your economy is cash-based, and they pay huge sums of money to people to develop real estate for them, and they go into some other businesses as a way of adding layers to the criminal monies they have attained. And it has been proven, and research has shown it over the years. I think we need to work collaboratively as they have started. And if they do so, I'm sure they will continue to get many of the recognitions they are getting in terms of search and seizure, confiscation, arrest, and prosecution.
Okay. Now, on the issue of the Member of Parliament for Asing-North, who was making wild allegations, you're talking about rankings of the country as far as a drug fight is concerned. Where we are was his invitation, or the visit of his home, as you may put it, for want of better expression, and where we have not been able to secure evidence from his quarters. He's saying that the information he has provided is enough proof, for the government to investigate. From where you sit, do you think that the government, tackled this issue professionally as it should? And do you think that the Member of Parliament who was raising the alarm also did his bit the right way?
And you have been around for a very long time. I just watched an interview where somebody was describing you as an ostrich, and I took offense to that. Politics itself has been ranked as a threat against the state, and actions of political figures, we call them political actors, have the highest propensity of destabilizing the state and creating all manner of uncomfortable situations for the state. I want to use the word, he made a claim, but some other people have said he alleged, and he who alleges must come to prove. I think politicians can throw all manner of lies to the space because they are not resourceful in nature, and what they do in politics is fraud and criminality. So in regards to whatever has been said about this country, and you have been around, is Ghana a virgin country when it comes to drugs? Cocaine has turned into father in this country before.
Yeah.
There are certain people, when you mention their name, what comes to mind is chieftaincy, Babylon, and conludos, and all that with drug issues. That time his party was in power. When did he wake up from sleep? Normally, I don't speak to many of the things they say because my political views are not too present sometimes. But I think the appropriate thing to do was when the president said, let the BNI investigate. The BNI was brought in predominantly to do three things. They will verify to confirm the claim the informant MP has made. They will ascertain the truthfulness of the claim, and they will authenticate the genuineness of it. Now, once these ones are done, then they will proceed with the actual investigation. Unfortunately, he chickened out and ran away from providing the intelligence he had. And I've always been telling people, I am an intelligence officer. This year will be 29 years in this field. When you use the word intelligence, intelligence means that you have an information, you have searched into it, you have researched into it, you have investigated it, you have examined it, and one of the outcomes of that process is what we call intelligence. So once you say you have intelligence, then you will be forced to spill it out. I don't think he has any intelligence. I think he just spilled out something.
Because I remember,
you need to go to the investigators and prove it out.
Yeah, I remember his first interview. He sought to assure the public that his team was working around it and had information, but they were waiting for the national security with the gravitas to provide all the details they had, and that if they failed, if the national security failed, then they will come with more, evidence, as he said.
And I've said in London for many years, I think we are making him important this afternoon. He doesn't deserve it. As a member of the Defense Committee, do you know they are the only committee that swear an oath of secrecy at Parliament? And if it's reasonable enough, he would have used the committee. And when you use the committee, then you can have the director of BNI to engage them in privacy, or director of immigration.
Right.
If questions are asked on the floor of the House, Then you have the Minister for Interior who comes to the house to answer those questions. And to the extent that you swear an oath of secrecy and sensitivity of the committee you serve on, what he did out there was callous and it was insensitive, and I don't think he has anything. I've always cautioned people that when the full facts are not made available to you, it's always important to be subjective and not definite. And if you remember, he said he has intelligence, which means that he has analyzed, he has investigated, and he has all what it takes, and that is why they are forcing him to spell it out. But that's notwithstanding, the seriousness of it is that the BNI will do the investigation and the reports will be done. And guess what? Even if the agenda or the terms of reference is to pick the president of Ghana, John Mahama, do you know in the case of the Airbus, President Mahama was sent to Sraj and he was investigated? When somebody gave him a Ford car in this country and one of the brothers of the land took an offense, the brother, who is an investigative journalist, investigated the president. So I don't think this president is afraid of investigation. And instead of wasting everybody's time, if you say you have intelligence, then you know who received the cargo. Come on, spill it out. And I will put my investigative experience on the line and many other people, and we will go into the field and get a job done. But to throw it out the way you have done and you chicken out when you are needed the most as a committee member to answer, I think that is callous and that is insensitive.
Mr. Komodo, I will engage you finally before I let you go. Maybe you give us a tip of this question, an answer to this question, and then later we can get into details of it. With regards to drugs menace within the system that the youth is abusing. You know, every time we talk about drug, you think of drug, either cocaine or weed, but we're hearing new names that are coming into the system. I'm not sure if it's the cocaine and weed that are being used to come up with these drugs or something else is happening. If you can give us just, a tip of what you think is going on with drug abuse amongst youth, because the new drugs that are coming are quite scary.
No, I think the lack of compliance and effectiveness of Food and Drugs Authority and the Standard Board. We used to have a retired police officer in this country who took upon himself to, go into the field and do, he does counterfeiting and he does some other things for the state, and the state do not pay him. I don't know whether he's still alive or he's dead, but I think Food and Drugs Authority and the Standard Board, they were set up specifically to deal with some of these, issues in the public space. They will need to come to the fore and begin to be more active. But it is also true that the use of drugs by the youth of this country is getting out of hand. And they are all over the place. Yeah. You travel to some other places and you see the youth and they are being abused. And I think pressure is also coming in. Parentage has become an issue these days. And the churches are also not living to expectations. So it's a combination of a complex something. But I think the Standard Board and Food and Drugs Authority must lead the way, and the police are always willing to jump up into the field and help them.
Right. Mr. Richard Komodo, we'll leave it here. He's fraud preventive analyst and also security consultant as well, speaking to us on these updates that have come in. And the advice is to the, drug institutions. So the institutions in charge of drugs is saying that go beyond just the arrest and prosecute so that you, institute trust within the system to avoid cocaine turning into coconte. All right. This all time will allow us to wrap up here on Good Afternoon Ghana, and also this week, Good Afternoon Ghana. We're back next week with some more details and analysis of news items that have been unfolding within the week. But we'll also be following through with the parties, groups that is gearing up for a demonstration against the decision or petition to remove the Chief Justice. And Metro TV will come with all the updates developing from that angle as well. But also remember that the fight against Galamsey continues. My name is Ania Fompofo. I did Good Afternoon Ghana. We're free this week, and next week we're back. Thanks for watching.
The Ghana Celebrity Impact Awards, GCIA, is an annual award ceremony that recognizes and celebrates the outstanding contribution and impacts of Ghanaian individuals, corporate entities, and celebrities. It celebrates Ghanaian philanthropy, promotes social responsibility, empower youth and community development, and celebrate achievements in giving back to